Yeah, let's do that. This music is my life. This music is who I am, what I plan to be. Clay Jones is my mentor. Tony Rice is his mentor. Clarence White was Tony's mentor. So I feel like there's a line right there like, wow, I'm getting taught by an awesome player.
I see that if they can ever harness that energy for peaceful purposes, he is going to be dangerous.
To a lot of people, bluegrass sounds a lot like this. It is so much more than that.
The origin of bluegrass music is the old-time music that came over with the English, Irish, and Scottish immigrants. And as they landed and then began to move westward into the Carolinas, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, that music acquired kind of a mountain sound or a country music sound. And over time, that was also influenced by the spiritual and the blues music that came up from the South. And the sound today that we recognize as bluegrass music really originated in about the mid-1940s when Bill Monroe and his band, the Bluegrass Boys, which included Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, stepped on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry in the mid-1940s, and that's the sound we recognize today as bluegrass music.
Rhythm defines bluegrass. If it's the groove, the rhythm, the drive. I like listening to the technical part of it, but if it doesn't have the groove and the drive, you got a big bag of nothing.
When the groove's done right, it really gives a rush. It's ahead of the beat, where jazz and stuff like that's gonna sit back. Bluegrass is just right there on the edge of the beat. And it's kind of like listening to, say, punk rock bands, the way that drummer hits that snare, just da, 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 and it's just driving. The same thing, the mandolin plays that snare drum sound, and it's so forward and driving and moving. It's not laid back most of the time at all when it's done right.
It's got an energy and a drive, and you just say, I love that, I want to do it.
Bluegrass is sort of hard to define. It's like rock and roll. I mean, Chuck Berry and AC/DC are both rock and roll, I guess, but they don't sound very much alike.
I listen to a lot of John Mayer. I listen to a lot of rock, 3 Days Grace. And in bluegrass, there's so much like that's kind of a jazzy blues thing right there. And then right there it kind of makes it just something else.
I think there's a huge amount of soul in bluegrass. It's a very real and honest form. It's a pure form of music. It doesn't shy away. I think in rock and pop there are certain taboos that you can't discuss, almost like there's certain things you can't say, and in bluegrass music it's okay for you to sing about how you feel about your mom and dad, or very real emotions, raw emotions.
It's the high lonesome sound. It's about you as a person connecting with something bigger and something that isn't kind of tangible.
I can always find stuff in this music we can learn myself.
When I can play, it's just like I'm 14 or 15, you know. When I'm on stage playing, I'm just as excited as I ever was. I just love this type of music, and the main reason is just the fans and the people and having the interaction with them that you're able to playing bluegrass music is an awesome thing.
Here in Bluegrass, you see a lot of family bands, and a lot of them are brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, and they'll come together and they'll have this certain connection that is different from a normal band. And it's just really awesome to see that.
I enjoy playing with my family because it's more of it keeps us closer together, and it's way more fun than just in a band. Bluegrass music is normally played with guitar, dobro, mandolin, bass, and banjo, and fiddle.
There's an authenticity and an honesty to the music, and the people will, they're very dedicated to the music and dedicated fans. We call our fans the Ragers, and so it's exciting to be able to see these people that are so familiar to us, but it's also fun to introduce the music to new people.
One of the things about bluegrass that's really neat is there is a hardcore fan base that is very much in touch with where it started and continue to measure what we do today against the original form of the music. And I think that is what really helps to preserve the bluegrass, art form.
Losing your mother is very emotional. Music has kept me straight, has kept my mind going, has kept it away from the negative things. And I always say music is something that keeps you smiling and keeps you, doesn't matter what kind of person you are. Music will make you tap your foot, make you want to get up, dance, want to make you smile, want to make you nod your head, want to do anything. And when you're in my situation, you want to find something to wrap yourself in. And that's what I did. My grandfather, he first got me into playing bluegrass. He was reading some kind of newspaper or article on Pearl Bluegrass Music Jam every month. And he said, let's go and get out there and check it out. We went there, and all of a sudden there's all these people, probably 15 instruments, and you see them going really fast, and it's just so much energy. And being a little kid, more energy, more stimulating is a lot of fun.
We first noticed he even had a talent for music when he was a little bitty guy. My mother was holding him and he was about 4 months old. And when the music started, she couldn't even hold him. He was bouncing so hard. And then we went to a bluegrass festival, and he was just captivated with that music.
Early on, a friend told me just make the instruments available and kind of leave him alone. And so I've made the instruments available. He has all the bluegrass instruments, banjo, dobro. He plays 4 of them at this point, and I see to it that he gets to go and play music with other musicians.
High school football in Texas is really big and very intense. And I had to make a decision going into high school. I had to make a decision, do I want to keep playing football, hurting myself, and risking the fact that I have these that I have to play music. And I didn't think it was worth it. I had too many opportunities in music to throw it all away playing football. I guess I'm pretty lucky. At 16, I already know what I want to do, play music and produce music, and it's something that I've always wanted to do and keep doing for the rest of my life. You can't think of bluegrass without thinking of bluegrass festivals. And right now I'm here in Arlington, Texas, and right behind me is a band getting ready to perform. And they're getting sound checked, and they're doing what you do before you show. And here in a bit, this place is gonna be packed. It's gonna be a lot of energy. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and that's what bluegrass is about.
I put on a bluegrass festival in 2007 with a lot of major artists. Lucas was there. He was maybe 12 or 13 years old at the time. He comes up and asks to go hang out in the backstage tent so he could meet the artists. I told him no and went on about my business. Stopped back by a few minutes later, and of course there's Lucas. Sneaked his way into the backstage tent. He's hanging out with the artist. So I have to escort him back out to his seat. And then here 2 or 3 years later, we do another big festival here in Texas, and I've seen Lucas progress musically and come a long way, and here's Lucas opening on the big stage for J.D. Crowe and Rhonda Vincent and the McCurrys and everybody with Lucas and his band. So he's gone from sneaking into the backstage tent to being an invited artist in the backstage tent.
Thank you all so very much.
A lot of the pickers and players that were on that stage, I already had a certain type of friendship with. And to be able to say I was on the same stage as people I look up to is an awesome, amazing feeling.
Once you've gone to one bluegrass festival, it's like you can't wait to get back. You see a lot of the same people. You become very familiar with the bands. You know, if you're a musician, it's a chance to jam. You know, it's just fun. I always hate for a bluegrass festival to end.
Bluegrass festivals, you see a lot of jamming. You see a lot of people getting together, expressing themselves in a circle. And what I'm hearing from this group right here is really strong vocals. So you can get over there, do this, and you know, get in that beat like that, and tap your foot. And I guarantee you, I don't even have to look. I know one of them is smiling. At least I hope so. Thank you, appreciate it.
Anybody got a little baby here?
Well, Ron,
Usually things run very smoothly, but occasionally something can happen, like this last fall at the Farmers Branch Festival, when the power generator that was running the stage sound and lighting system went out in the middle of Rhonda Vincent's set. Rhonda, being the consummate entertainer that she is, never missed a beat, grabbed her band, ran off the stage, ran out into the middle of the crowd, cleared room, and proceeded to play several songs out there in the middle of the crowd, even inviting them to sing along with her singing Amazing Grace until the power came back on. Now that's pretty spectacular.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
I mean, you can't stay 30 years behind the times. You've got to, advance. You got to progress.
It's sort of a music that can be a basis for growth, and I think that's exactly what's happened. I've watched it. I'm really excited to see what's happening in bluegrass music.
Bluegrass music is much more popular now than it's ever been. And the audience is broader. And, you could take a bluegrass band to New York City or to Dallas, Texas, or to Los Angeles and draw a crowd.
I see a lot more younger people in it. I see people being exposed to it just a little bit more.
I've been playing bluegrass pretty much since I started playing music, so it's been almost 15 years now.
I like to listen to it. I just like it because it's upbeat. It's faster music most of the time, and I really like the banjo.
In order for the music to live on and keep going, that's what we need is young people's interpretation of it.
There are some colleges that you can actually go to play bluegrass. You have Bethel University, even Berkeley and Boston has bluegrass programs. You have East Tennessee State University and South Plains College, which is in West Texas. And hopefully one day I'll be able to go to these colleges where I can not only study and get a major in something, but I can also study and play bluegrass the entire time I'm there.
There's been many people that have helped me out in my life, and I love helping younger kids, younger people, and even older people learn how to play this music. And to me, it's just like fanning the fire and getting it going.
Start a brand new day. Try to wake up, hunter. It's almost time to play.